welcome to this special council meeting.
Bobby, wait, we're not on yet. Just
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this special council meeting. Thank you to all who are able to attend today. I will ask for a disclosure of pecuniary interest and the nature thereof. And I see Councillor Brown, who is not able to be with us today, has declared pecuniary interest. His stepson works for Marwan's, and he has familial reasons for sending his regrets because he could not attend today. And also have disclosure of pecuniary interest from Councillor Guido. And her husband owns 249 to 255 Queen Street, and tenants will be impacted by this potential closure. Anything you'd like to say, Councillor Guido?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. No, that covers it.
Okay, thank you very much. Where there's nothing from closed session, and so we'll go to number 7, which is consideration of business for which notice was given. And I'd like to just give an opening statement to give some background. The purpose of this special council meeting is to discuss a plan for opening a portion of Queen Street for pedestrians to improve physical distancing while shopping on busy weekends during the summer. Staff have worked collaboratively with the BIA to develop a safe alternative with the least disruption for the businesses and for the convenience and safety of the patrons, residents, and visitors to Port Perry. The BIA is a valuable asset to Scugog, and it was our sincere desire to have the BIA and Township in agreement with the concept to open the street. We have worked very hard with the BIA and listened to their concerns over the past few weeks, and I'm pleased to report that we have the BIA board's cooperation and support. Support was also given by the Port Perry Chamber of Commerce, the Economic Development Advisory Committee, the Tourism Advisory Committee, and many members of the public through emails to me and other council members. A number of other communities have opened their downtown streets and made innovative use of public spaces for pedestrians with great success in these COVID times. Hamilton, Guelph, Peterborough, Kingston, a street in downtown Whitby, to name a few, all providing pedestrian safety and stimulating the economic recovery. The City of Seattle closed 20 kilometers of vehicular roads, and Bogota has opened 75 kilometers of bike lanes. We've had a number of inquiries and emails both for and against. I understand that the BIA meeting last night was well attended, and that Robin Prentice, Manager of Planning, participated to ensure that everyone had the accurate information in which to make their decision. The concept developed by staff and endorsed by the Emergency Control Group ticks all the boxes for accessibility, parking, keeping 2 important laneways open, easy to understand vehicular traffic patterns, keeping the north-south traffic flowing on Water, Perry, and John, and most importantly, addressing the need to provide physical distance spacing for patron safety on Queen Street. I don't need to remind anyone that physical distancing is one of the most important ways to stay safe during the pandemic. Scugog has done very well. Right now, the lowest per capita in the region. Let's keep it that way by doing everything we can to keep the people safe. And thank you very much. And now I'll call on Robin Prentice to give us a verbal update of the concept that was presented to the BIA last night and accepted. Robin?
Sure, thank you, Madam Mayor. So the concept that I'm hopeful is being brought up on the screen, or can be added to the screen. It proposes opening up Queen Street between Perry and Water Street completely to pedestrian use and closing it to vehicular use. There it is, thank you. This would allow pedestrian use of the entire street within this area. And between John and Perry, we recognize that there already is some wider sidewalks on the south side of the road here. So we felt that we could leave that space and just widen the sidewalks on the north side of Queen Street in this area where the existing on-street parking is. This allows some two-way traffic in this area, as well as to continue with some of the on-street parking on the south side. You will see a denotation on a couple laneways. It's our understanding that these laneways only have access to Queen Street. So we are willing to work with the landowners in this area to maintain some vehicular access to those laneways during the weekend times. And then we are recognizing that there will be some displacement of some accessible parking spaces between Perry and Water Street. So we are looking at temporarily assigning some other accessibility parking spaces along Perry Street and Water Street in recognition of that. And that would just be for the weekend times that the opening up of the street would be taking place. So the discussion last night went well. There was a lot of different varying comments, but the discussion overall went quite well. What was discussed and supported by the BAA was opening up the street, from Saturday to Sunday. They didn't really support doing it from Friday because that is a busy day and they'd still get some deliveries on that day. So they support opening it up for the Saturday and Sunday period for 4 weekends. And we also discussed promoting weekend parking in the lot behind the municipal building, as well as parking behind the chamber office, the visitor center there. This would help promote some of that parking that may be displaced from along Queen Street. And then the other element I wanted to discuss was staff will be looking at surveying people within the space just to see how it's working. And so we will be surveying people using the space, and the businesses, it's my understanding, will be looking at surveying the businesses and how they see it working and implementing or impacting their businesses. So hopefully we can get some good feedback through those surveys. And we would also be doing an online survey so that people can fill it out online, as well as through some students that we may use in the space. That's about all I have, but I'm happy to answer any further questions.
Robin, I wonder if you could address the signage in the municipal parking lot and the number of accessible parking spaces that are being displaced at this time.
Sure. So there is currently 3 accessible parking spaces along Queen Street that would be displaced through this plan. We were looking at replacing those along Perry and Water. The BIA has requested 2 additional spaces, so we would be looking to temporarily assign 5 parking spaces for accessibility purposes on those weekend periods. And then there was some comments received from the BAA and some of the businesses that people aren't often aware that they can park in the municipal building parking lot because they think it's strictly for municipal purposes. But there is general parking permitted on the weekends when municipal staff are obviously not using the space. So we would be looking for additional signage to help promote that parking, as well as the parking in behind the chamber office, which is also not being used by chamber staff on the weekends. So, and we did speak to them about that, and they're happy to help with that.
Okay, thank you. Questions on the presentation by council? Councillor Kiesebrink, you had a comment, read the survey motion.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you to our Manager of Planning for her presentation both today and last night. There was a wonderful turnout. Obviously, a lot of people are wanting safety, but also concerned about impact. So this was definitely a long process, and I appreciate all the work that the BAA and our staff did. So thank you very much for that. There was a motion made, I think it would have been after you left, Manager Prentice, but there was a motion made to have the BIA businesses survey their own patrons to find out about their views and the impact of the closure, but other BIA members felt that they could not be objective because there's such passion in these unprecedented times. So that motion was not passed, and the ask was that if Township could kindly maybe have a student or someone generically survey through the downtown on the weekends with some standardized wording to really understand, do people feel safe? Do they feel more comfortable accessing our stores? Any other questions? Maybe the BIA could be consulted on some of the questions and information that they would like to gain from the survey from a business perspective. But the BIA did feel that the township would be far more objective, and they would prefer that the township undertake the survey for that. I hope that I've properly relayed their sentiments, Madam Mayor. Could I maybe have, I'm not sure whether I should direct that ask to our CIO or yourself, or could I maybe have some thoughts on that?
Okay, late last night and this morning, I had asked staff based on the recommendations that came from the BIA last night and our own concerns and thoughts on how things should proceed from here. We drafted a recommendation, a motion for us to consider. In that motion, there is the thought that we would have a survey done by one of our staff on the ground and online. So, Robin or Mr. CAO, do you have anything to add to that?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's the CAO. That's correct. So we already put that in motion. We feel strongly that an evaluation is needed, both for ourselves, the residents, and the downtown merchants. So we do plan to have an online survey and an on-the-ground survey where we'll have one of our students in place, working the Queen Street corridor on the weekends with a tablet, asking for feedback to a standardized questionnaire, which for sure we can consult with the BIA concerning its content. And then we'll have all that compiled, and we will report back to the BIA and council upon completion of the project.
Thank you so much, Mr. CAO, and I think that will be very warmly received. I thank you for that consideration, and thank you, Mayor. If I could, Madam Mayor, I just had a further question and comment.
Yes, okay.
So the discussion specifically for the two stores, the RBC and Hinks, that are right at the corner there of Perry and Water, given the dynamic of seniors and also accessible, we had discussed one of the proposed accessible spots is further down the hill on Perry Street, and only one is up at the top of the hill. So I know that the documentation hasn't been changed to reflect the motion that was passed last night because it was late last night, but could I just get confirmation from our manager of planning that the additional accessible spots will be located near RBC at the top of the hill by Perry, on Perry?
Robin, could you get the pointer or the mouse to show us where those are from your discussions last night?
I don't have access to the pointer, but it is something we did discuss, and it is something that Public Works would look at assigning those additional accessible parking spaces kind of along Perry Street on the south side of Queen Street there. There would be an additional spot. And again, they're temporary, so where we put them for the first week, if they're not working and they're better placed, we can move them the next weekend. So that is something we're willing to work with the BA on, and that is something we did discuss with Public Works. So we did take a look at where we could put them along Perry Street. So we were looking at about 4 spots along Perry, 2 on the north side of Queen and 2 on the south side of Queen, and then there would be 1 spot assigned on Water Street as well.
Okay, Councillor Kieserbrink, does that answer your question?
I think the motion was for the 2 additional spots to be on the north side, not a second one on the south, because they were concerned about the climb up the hill.
So we can definitely look at that through you, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Robin.
If I
Okay,
could,
further?
Madam Mayor, yes, thank you. I just had one further request. This is just my own question. The signage that we're getting to indicate to the public that the municipal lot is available to the public during the weekend times, can that be permanent signage, not just during this time, in that so that we can promote that all the time? Because I think that that would be really welcome assistance for more parking on the weekends.
Yeah, I believe that is supposed to be permanent signage. Director Coleman? Is that correct?
That's correct. We will make it permanent signage.
Thank you. Anything
And-
further, Councillor Kieserbrink?
Just one more. So is it possible that we could have, sometimes there's wayfinding signage. Is there any way to have some sort of smaller sign right at the intersection of Perry and Water that has an arrow and says complimentary weekend municipal parking this way?
Director Coleman or Robin?
I can answer, Director Coleman. Through you, Madam Mayor, to the councillor, I wouldn't put a wordy sign like that. I would use the standard green pea parking sign with an arrow.
That would be perfect. Good, because it would maybe help to route people on an ongoing basis to know that, especially when there's new signage that they'll then see. Are we using green pea as an indicator at the main sign as well?
Yes, at the parking lot, it would be a green pea with a tab underneath that says weekends only
And holidays.
and holidays.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councillor Watton.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And through you to Robin, with respect to the accessible parking, can you tell me where the accessible parking spots are that are being lost with the closure of the Queen Street section?
Through you, Madam Mayor, Director Coleman might be the best person. I
Okay.
believe there's two in front of the post office, I believe. Probably one on the north Queen Street in between Perry and
Director Coleman?
Through you, Madam Mayor, to the councillor. Yes, Robin's right. There's 2 in front of the post office, and the 3rd one is located in front of the new cycle shop on the north side.
Okay. And so there's basically 3 being lost, and we are putting in 5. Is that correct?
I will answer. Robin will answer. Through you, Madam Mayor. Yes, that's correct. On a temporary basis. So
Of course.
When Queen Street, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's great. And just a sec. Sorry. Oh, my other comment, if I may, Madam Mayor, through you, is regarding the online survey and the on-the-ground survey. Could we please be sure to include postal codes in that survey? I know that the tourist committee will probably welcome those results as well as ourselves for future evaluation of tourism and so on and so forth. Thank you, Madam Mayor. That's it for me.
Thank you. I think we can do that. Councillor Ross.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First, just wondering what time frame we're looking at as far as getting up, and also what time frame is going to bookend the other side as to when this project will be done.
Actually, I can answer that. With staff having to order supplies, fencing, signage, and so on, we're looking at the weekend of the 25th. So a week and a half away.
Okay, and as far as the ending period of this project, is that been identified or is it open-ended at this time?
The BIA is suggesting 4 weeks. When you see the motion, it will be evaluated after the evaluation and the survey.
Sorry, Madam Mayor, the motion that's in front of us, or that will be in front of us now, or this new motion that's coming up?
The motion that will be up on the board in a few minutes.
Okay. The second question I have is in regards to funding. Do we have a price tag for what this will cost the township, or has that not been identified?
Yes, we do actually. It's an estimate. Can we put that up now? Please, thank you very much. Director Coleman, do you want to walk us through this?
Sorry, hit the wrong button for my mic. Yes, Mayor Drew. So we've looked at 2 scenarios for the cost here. The first scenario has setting up on Saturday morning, first thing, starting at 6 a.m. It would take approximately 2 hours to set up, and then we would take down, in the scenario, we take down Sunday night from approximately 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Because it is a weekend, in our collective agreement, we're required to pay staff a minimum of 3 hours. And on Saturday, it's at time and a half. And on Sunday, it's at double time. So we have the labor cost per weekend is about $1,600. And for 4 weekends, that's $6,500. And then we have the equipment costs, that's staff equipment to do it, and traffic equipment, that's the pylons and the various signage we'd have to purchase. And we're looking at temporary ramps so that people walking on the road or wheeling on the road and need a ramp to get on the sidewalk would have full accessibility. And we're also looking at fence rental to protect people between John Street and Perry Street, where we're extending into the road but not doing a full road closure. So the total cost, if we set up on Saturday and take down on Sunday, is just under $15,000. The second scenario is setting up Saturday morning and taking down first thing Monday morning. So the work would both times would be done between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. On Saturday, we would have to pay people the minimum 3 hours, and it would be a time and a half. On Sunday, it would be straight time because our staff starts work at 6 a.m. in the summer. And so the labor costs are about $2,500 less for this scenario. And the total cost is about $12,300. We would recommend the second scenario. It doesn't make a lot of sense to bring a crew in and pay them double time to work Sunday night when there'll be very little activity from Sunday night until first thing Monday morning. We don't expect any deliveries during that time period. Most of the businesses are closed, and it would make more sense to use staff during their regular hours on Monday to take down all the barricades.
Thank you, Director Coleman. Anything further, Councillor Ross?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that, Director. Other question I have, what does the barrier look like on the north side of the street between John and Perry?
Would that be Director Coleman?
Through you, Madam Mayor, to the councillor, it would be a slim barrier that would be reflective. So during daytime and nighttime, vehicles would be able to see the barricade. And then it would also be a fence. I'm not sure how to describe it. It's about 3 or 4 feet high, the fence, and it's more to provide a delineation. And so vehicles and pedestrians know exactly where the delineation is. It would not be a physical barrier. A car could go through it, but I think it'll be very obvious where it is. So I think the risk to people is very low.
Okay, thank you. So we're not looking at Jersey barriers or a 6-foot-high chain fence going up here.
Through you, Madam Mayor, Councilor, no, that's correct. We didn't want it to look like a construction site, or we want it to be attractive for visitors and businesses.
Okay, great. And if I may, Madam Mayor, I just have 2 other questions here. One is in regard to the accessible parking that was just discussed. Is there concern that that was mentioned that these accessible parking spots on the weekends are just temporary? During the week, would those no longer exist? And if that's the case, is there concern about causing confusion to those people who are using those accessible parking spots, that they're there one day and gone the next? I don't know if you could address that, Ms. Prentice.
It's either Director or Robin. Director Coleman?
Yes, through you, Madam Mayor, the councillor, that is the plan, to remove them during the week. We think that there won't be very much confusion. It'll be more visitors on the weekend, so there won't be. There probably will be less of the, it'll be more local Scugog residents during the week, and they'll be familiar with the permanent spots. I don't think there'll be a lot of confusion. We can monitor that too. If we get feedback about that, we can look at a different solution.
Okay, great. Thank you. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, if I could just make a comment from the meeting. Madam.
Councillor Kieserbrink, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The motion for the additional accessible parking was a motion made by the BAA with the understanding that it would only be during the implementation of the weekends, and that the normal accessible parking would be available the rest of the week.
The signs are temporary as well. I mean, they can be removed. Is that correct, Director Coleman?
Yes, Mayor Drew, that is correct.
Okay, thank you very much. Anything further, Councillor Ross?
Yes, thank you. Just I had a chance to listen to the BIA meeting last night, and there was some animated discussion about the policy that will, if one is going to be developed for allowing stores to move into the streets. How is the township going to address this as far as policy, and then moving forward? I understand that this is obviously a very evolving situation, evolving project, but I don't know if someone could speak to that as far as the allowance of storefronts moving into the street, and at what length that would be.
Who would be best to answer that? Director Coleman, our CAO, or Robin?
Robin here. I can start, and perhaps the CAO would want to jump in after. Through you, Madam Mayor. Obviously, the whole intent here is to allow for the physical spacing, so that's first and foremost the main goal. And then we would look at if people have some options or some ideas, they could work with township staff, but there would be some limitations in terms of the space that would be used, if any, additional space for the additional store spaces or restaurant spaces.
Thank you. Mr. CAO, do you have a comment on that?
Thank you, Mayor. Through you, we have indicated to the BIA that we will be as flexible as possible with those needs. I mean, this is evolving, and we do not have a formal policy with respect to this matter at the time being, but we will work with retail outlets and restaurants that want to pursue an outdoor portion. I think an outdoor portion would be good for physical distancing and good for business if they wish to pursue it. We'll work with them in that regard, keeping in mind, as Ms. Prentice mentioned, that physical distancing and safety of the patrons in the downtown is first and foremost. We do expect to see some expansion of the restaurants, most likely, even though stage 3 is not far off. Review of the order in council does have, strict limitations in terms of physical separation within the restaurants. So they're not going to be able to have their capacity, their normal capacity indoors, and may want to supplement that capacity with some outdoor seating. And we'll work with them in that regard. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
Further, Councillor Ross?
No, just thank you, CEO, for that. So just my understanding, just to start off with, no stores in the street, and then it'll evolve as we go, where individual stores will approach the township to work with them to move out into the street. That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councillor McDougall?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Just unmuting my mic there. I guess a question for Robin on the plan is the purposes of this plan moving forward is for safety. Is that correct?
Through you, Madam Mayor, that's correct.
Okay, and if I might, I'm not sure. I don't have our previous motion in front of me, but is it possible to review what that motion was?
JP,
Madam Mayor?
Yes, JP, can you?
Yeah, Madam Mayor, just I'll need a minute.
Okay.
Thank you, JP.
Do you have another question before while we're waiting for that to come up?
Yeah, so
Councillor
just
McDougall?
yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. On the budget for this, what was the previous allowance that we had for the budget? Through you, Madam Mayor.
Through you, Madam Mayor, if you're referring to the other project that was related to Queen Street?
Yes.
Is that the other? So that is being treated separately than this project. That was the intent of that project, was more focused on tourism and bringing lots of people to the downtown and supporting those businesses. But this is kind of taken on a different connotation with respect to just focusing on the physical distancing and the health and safety aspects. The budget for the other project to do a concept plan was $2,500.
Thank you. So sorry. So then this is a COVID-related expense, not necessarily just an annual expense that we approved in terms of an open streets project.
I would say so. And Mr. CAO, can you comment on that?
Through you, Madam Mayor. Yes, we will log this as a COVID expense. Should there be an opportunity in the future to try to recoup costs? Thank you.
Further, Councillor McDougall?
Very good. Just to actually further to that, through you, Madam Mayor, perhaps then the first scenario where the takedown is on Sunday might actually be a better option, because we can recoup the cost of the takedown as rather than deferring work that should be done Monday morning and possibly incurring other costs for overtime for regular duties. So just a thought for consideration.
You're absolutely correct, Councillor McDougall, but we have no guarantee that we're going to be compensated by the levels of government for COVID expenses. We're lobbying for it, but there's no guarantee. So in the interest of safety and of keeping the costs down is something that we're going to have to consider.
Okay.
Mr. CAO, any comment on that?
I agree totally. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Anything further, Councillor McDougall?
Yes. Does JP have the previous motion that we had drafted and approved up?
JP?
Not as yet.
Okay. Shall we come back to that then, Councillor McDougall, and I'll go on to another, the next question?
Certainly, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, Councillor Kiesebrink, you have a statement from the chair of the BIA.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. If I could, just a further question to Councillor McDougall's questions and intimations with respect to the Sunday versus Monday takedown. The BIA in their motion were very clear that they preferred the takedown on Sunday and not Monday. Could I ask perhaps if Manager Prentice could speak to like the timing of the Sunday takedown versus the Monday? I think, like, how do we navigate the fact that they have given their approval for Sunday but not for Monday, and then we prepare a motion that's different? I just would like some assistance with that.
I think probably Director Coleman could answer that because, and probably Robin can chime in, but Director Coleman is the one that has estimated the pricing, the costing for this. So Director Coleman?
Through you, Madam Mayor, to the councillor, I know that I understand that the BAA would prefer the Sunday night takedown, but my opinion is that given that it's a township cost to do that, and it's, we're already incurring a substantial cost to support this, that the increase in cost would be fully from the township. The BIA hasn't offered to pay the difference at all, and I don't see the impacts that will be to leave it up for Sunday night. So my personal recommendation is that we take it down first thing Monday morning.
Thank you, Director. Further through you, Madam Mayor, could we make a part of the survey the question for the business owners, whether there is any impact on them for us having taken it down on Monday morning before business hours? Or I just want to be sensitive to, like, they worked really hard to work with us, so I just want to be sensitive to their needs on that. And I respect what you're saying, Director Coleman. It is our cost, and we have to be as efficient with public funds as we can.
Director, can you answer that? I'm sure we could put it in the survey to the businesses.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, we have.
Yes, Madam Mayor, we can include that.
Oh, okay. And if I could, Madam Mayor, I did have that statement from the chair.
Yes.
Okay. So just received an email from the chair of the BIA. She has stated, please let council know that once again, there was much discussion regarding the proposal. We spent 2 hours discussing the issue last night, in addition to the 2 hours at our last meeting. As you know, on behalf of the BIA, I spent considerable time working with township staff and meeting with concerned parties, either in person or by phone, including the Royal Bank, Brendan Guido, Gila Trell, and that through all of these meetings, we examined the issues of parking for residential tenants as well as accessible parking spots, which came out as a major issue for BIA members, hence the second motion regarding the number of accessible spots. There are strong opinions on this issue, as everyone knows, and the debate brought up larger issues that go beyond the scope of the street proposal. To me, this demonstrates the passion of our community and our business and property owners for the well-being of our town. The BIA would appreciate reassurance that if problems arise with this plan, that they will be quickly addressed. We also believe that a survey of both businesses and the general public customers will help us measure this impact. We are relying on the township to help us with this public survey. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. And now we'll go back to Councillor McDougall's question about the motion that was previously made. Can we put that up, please? And JP, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, for bringing that up. My question is for this time being, we've already dealt with this business until the end of July. Is that fair to say?
Mr. CAO or JP?
If through you, Madam Mayor, I could comment on that. This resolution that's up here is not what has been agreed upon with the BIA. So it's what the resolution that I think the mayor is going to put up that's recommended by staff is considerably different from this resolution. This resolution dealt with the full closure of Queen Street from Water to Perry and from Perry to John. Whereas the revised proposal deals with the full closure, yes, from Perry to Water, but not from Perry to John, just a parking closure. And the timelines are different than this resolution, which was just during July. And because of the discussion, of course, a great discussion that's occurred, we're now talking about the end of July into August. This necessitated is coming back to council for council's consideration, as this resolution does not address the proposal that's before you today.
Go ahead.
Further, if I might, Madam Mayor, thank you. What exactly necessitates this to come to council, if I might, through you, Madam Mayor, to Mr. CAO?
Mr. CAO or JP, I think because it's probably also a technical question or a question of procedure. So go ahead, Mr. CAO.
What necessitates, through you, Madam Mayor, I think the question was, what necessitates this coming to council for consideration? The length of time of the closure, which initially we were contemplating until Labor Day, which was in the 6 to 7 week time period. That closure, and staff were contemplating, were suggesting a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Actually, that type of closure is not typical, not something that a CAO I would want staff to approve without obtaining council's approval / endorsement. Also, it was a matter of significant sensitivity in the community, and really felt that council should be fully apprised and briefed and give direction to staff, if they are in agreement with the staff recommendation and wish to proceed. This is not your typical closing of the street for an event, which does fall within our operational policies. This is something that's quite unique and different from what we've done in the past, necessitating council's approval in my mind.
Thank you.
Further, Madam Mayor?
Councillor McDougall, what are you getting at with this? Do you have a problem with process, procedure? Can you inform us, just what's the nature of your question?
My concern is if council does not approve this necessity and this is being done out of safety, it really needs to be done regardless of council's decision, and it really should be going through the emergency control group and not necessarily through council.
Well, that's true, and the emergency control group are the ones that have done most of the discussion on this. JP, do you have any comment?
Just if I could, Madam Mayor, the emergency control group has been involved with respect to this matter of ensuring safety on Queen Street, and worked with the planning staff and work staff to evolve the plan that was approved by the BIA board last evening. So this does have full endorsement of the emergency control group. And again, I think that what I have heard from council in the past, and I must say, Madam Mayor, was that where there was an opportunity for council to be involved in significant decisions with respect to this pandemic, this emergency, that those matters should come to council. And correct me if I'm wrong, Madam Mayor, but that was the direction that I have received in the past.
And that's absolutely correct, and that's the purpose of the discussion today. This is very sensitive. It's polarizing in many respects with the BIA, and there's a lot of controversy about it. So I think it's important that the council have input into this. Further, Councillor McDougall?
Yes, Madam Mayor. My question, I guess, is should this motion not pass and we do not have the streets cleared of vehicles, will the situation be safe?
My interpretation is no. I'll ask the CAO.
If I could, through you, Madam Mayor, I think that the emergency control group will meet and discuss next steps should council not agree with this motion today. I'm feeling very confident in this motion. It does have the endorsement of the BIA board, and just the dialogue that I've heard from council at this meeting sounds very positive. So if we could, Madam Mayor, just wait the outcome of the council's decision, and then if it's not approved, then if you could leave that with the emergency control group to assemble and talk about what might be next steps.
Yes, thank you. Like the majority of the motion that will be coming up, the vast majority, the concept was approved by the BIA. There's some minor tweaks to it, and we'll see that when it comes up. Anything further, Councillor McDougall?
Just a comment. I did happen to listen into the BIA meeting last night. It was a good meeting. There was a lot of healthy discussion. I know that there's some very concerned Keystone tenants in the downtown core who are concerned about the possible negative effects to their businesses from this. I, of course, can appreciate open streets as well, and am close enough to downtown that it doesn't directly affect me. But again, as you mentioned, the BIA board did approve this. So, and we previously made a motion, as I read, that said the BIA has direction to use that street as they see, as they wish, working with staff as to what our constraints are budget-wise, etc. So, yes, that's all. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
if I could, I have to respond. That's not what the resolution says that council passed. The resolution is quite specific on what's to be done with respect to the open/closure of Queen Street, and says that specific direction to staff is only applicable with concurrence from the BIA, and we did not have concurrence from the BIA with this motion. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
That's correct. Thank you, Mr.
Madam Mayor, if I might, but you do have concurrence as of now. Is that correct?
Through you, Madam Mayor. We have concurrence, but not with the motion that's on the screen before you. We have concurrence with a different plan altogether, and different timelines. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Councillor McDougall? Understood?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Watton?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Several of the comments have been covered, but I was going to speak to the motion that is currently before us and basically say that in much of the general consent of that motion, we have achieved what we will now be presenting, I think. Concurrence with the BIA, working with them, developing options, and kudos to our staff and everyone who's worked so hard on, on getting to this point. So I wasn't clear about what this motion, if there was any negatives to it, because I believe that it has achieved what our next steps are in moving forward. So however, having said that, prior to the motion coming up, I did have a question, and if I may direct it to our council rep for the BIA that was in attendance last night. Councillor Kiesebrink, you said there was a lot of discussion about, and the preference was for a Sunday takedown. Can you tell me what the whys for that, as opposed to a 6 a.m. on a Monday morning?
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Through you to Regional Councillor Watton. Unfortunately, the 2 hours of discussion was more about other matters. It was only the tail end after the motion was approved that Manager Prentice asked for clarification on the BIA's preferences for the takedown, and it was just stated that they preferred Sunday, but there was no discussion specifically as to what their reasoning was. So that's why earlier in our discussion I asked if there could be clarification. I think the biggest thing was they just wanted to know that there's already been so much impact on businesses with the pandemic, and everyone's trying to work together, but at the same time, they just really don't want, as little minimal impact as possible on businesses. And I think there was maybe the worry that if the work was done Monday, that there would be impact on their businesses on Monday. So that would be my question, is just for the reassurance that for sure everything will be gone for Monday morning, that there wouldn't be any impact on the businesses on Monday.
Perhaps they did not. Sorry, just perhaps they did not realize that it's that early in the morning too. I mean, maybe they anticipated that it might be a little bit later, like starting at 8:30, which is the typical business day in the rest of the municipality. But starting at 6 o'clock, it'll be done by probably 8.
Well, I think
sorry.
I think if I could, Madam Mayor, I think there's so many different people. There's residents. It's not just businesses. So it's not just when do businesses open their doors, but it's all the people movement that needs to happen, early in the morning on Monday. So I think they were just concerned about all of that. Thank you.
I can understand that, except that the residents the tenants that live above the stores, they already have access in and out. That hasn't changed.
Good point. Good point.
Thank you. Councillor Watton, further?
Yes, Madam Mayor, thank you. I would my understanding of this whole project is that, and what I've heard today from staff is that it is an evolving project, and if for example, if our accessibility parking spots aren't working, that we'll consider moving them. So, if there is some true legitimate reasons why Monday mornings don't work, I would presume that, and rightly or wrongly, I don't know, but that then we could revisit the Sunday night takedown. If I could get a comment from either Director Coleman or the CAO, I would appreciate that on that.
Mr. CAO?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have reassured the BIA chair that we will be as responsive as possible. This is an evolving matter. If it needs tweaks here and there, we will, work with them to resolve any issues or matters that need to be adjusted. In this particular regard, Director Coleman, I'm confident we can have this torn down before the stores open on Monday morning, and we would do that if that provides some real problem for the businesses. We'll try to adjust our times or adjust the time accordingly. But we will proceed if the motion goes through to have it on Monday morning, unless there's some major reason why those times need to change. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you. I've come to the end of the speakers list. So I'm wondering, Mr. Clerk, could you put up the suggested motion, the recommendation from staff, having listened to the BIA, the staff concerns, and with input from Regional Councillor, Deputy Mayor Wilma Watton, and myself. There it is. I'll give you a few minutes to read it.
Madam Mayor, it's not visible on my screen. I'm not
It is,
sure.
it is on mine. Does everybody have it on their screen except for the CAO? Just indicate in the chat if you don't have it, please.
I do have it now, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, that's great. Has everybody now had a chance to digest this and ready for comments and questions? First of all, I need a mover. Councillor
I'll move it, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Kieserbrink.
I'll second that, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Wotton, thank you. Now I had Councillor Ross.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a comment into this. I know a lot of the discussion's been around the BIA and ensuring that their concerns are addressed and moving forward with that. I'd just like to make the comment that I think this is a balancing act between the BIA and the rest of our residents, and that not only the voice of the BIA and a whole host of concerns, but the residents and visitors have the option of feeling safe and welcome. So also, I just point out that this is also, I think, an evolving, it's been said a couple times, this is an evolving matter. And I know that to some is disheartening, and that, you know, there's not a clear, precise plan as we go forward. But I think given the nature of the times, that this is the way it needs to happen. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councillor Ross. Let me see. Councillor Wotton.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and I know I've seconded this motion, and but I'm just, again, I speak to the evolution of the project, and also, you know, the Saturday to Mondays. Would it be prudent to just double check what stores are open on the holiday Mondays, and if we should indeed have that street opened on the Mondays of, say, I guess it's the August long weekend. That's probably the one in question at this point. I don't want to reopen huge discussions that perhaps are unnecessary, but I know this is wasn't something that was probably, and Councillor Kieserbrink could maybe again speak to this, was the long weekend discussed with the BIA in their deliberations?
Councillor Kieserbrink, was that brought up at all?
They were extremely emphatic that they needed to Manager Prentice at the end of all of the discussions that they did need the barriers removed on Sunday, that they needed to have everything fresh for Monday morning. Unfortunately, that there wasn't explanation given. I think it seemed to be consensus and understanding between the business owners as to that reasoning being critical for them. And there was also discussion that of what Councillor Wotton was saying, that this has been an evolving process, and further to the chair's comments to us, I think they wanted to have it be understood that if there were problems, and further to our CAO's comments earlier, if there were problems with the plan, that they would be quickly addressed. So let's say we pass this motion today to try to take them down on Monday, but in the meantime, if we hear back emphatically from people that that does not work for them, I think maybe our motion should be fluid enough to give staff the ability to make that change if necessary, because that's part of the reassurance that the BIA wants, and that the chair's statement asks from us, is that if problems arise, they will be quickly addressed. They seem to feel that there would be problems with Monday. I wish that I could relay what those concerns and problems are, but I just don't know because it wasn't part of our discussion last night, unfortunately.
Okay. Councillor
Madam Mayor.
Keith-Brink, I think the question was specifically was it brought up about the holiday weekend in August? Was that mentioned at all or considered?
I would defer to Manager Prentice's recollection on that. I don't specifically recall.
Okay.
I think
fine.
they may have felt that they were okay because their motion was Saturday to Sunday.
Okay.
Through you, Madam
Rob-
Mayor, there was no discussion on the long weekend. That didn't come up. It was only just,
Okay.
I think in everyone's mind, the discussion took place around normal weekends. And
Yes,
then everyone forgot about the long weekend that would be stuck in there. So it wasn't discussed.
Okay, yeah, it was just kind of brought up this morning too, and in our pre-meeting. So yeah, we happened to think of it this morning as well. Councillor Watton, further?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So having heard the response again, if I could to the clerk, if we pass this motion as it is presented now, will we be locked into, the Tuesday morning takedown of the long weekend or the Monday mornings takedown? Should this really be a unsatisfactory solution for the BIA? Are we, by passing this motion, locking ourselves into that?
I guess I need to ask JP and our CAO. Would it be?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, would it be considered just that we could? It is a fluid thing that's happening. Minor tweaking. Does that need to be addressed in the motion itself? That staff in consultation with the BIA can make minor tweaks without having to go back to council, or can we just take it as direction that recognizing that this whole thing is evolving, that minor adjustments can be made? Major adjustments would have to come back to council, but minor adjustments could be made as a direction. Could I have comments on that by JP and the CAO? JP?
Madam Mayor, maybe JP
yes.
could go first, Madam Mayor, if that's okay.
Okay, it's because it's a process thing. So, JP, can it be taken as direction?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and through you to council. A motion passed by council, it would be the responsibility of staff to follow that motion, whatever that may be. Minor adjustments, absolutely could be adjusted along the way, but I would consider a Monday morning to Sunday not a minor adjustment in this situation.
Okay, so that would have to come back to council. In your opinion, Mr. Clerk, would it be advisable to have another that says minor adjustments can be made, or do you think it's okay the way it is?
Through you, Madam Mayor, there's somewhat of two questions there. The decision of whether it is Saturday to Sunday or Saturday to Monday is a decision of council, so that is whatever the will of council is. So in terms of whether it's fine the way it is or not, it's subjective to council's decision in that respect. If you would like it to say, have a little bit more flexibility, then we would certainly have to just amend it slightly to allow for that. And you would simply say something to, Saturday to Monday, at the beginning, and this is not the exact wording, and then adjustments could be made if that for some reason is not working, and that would give staff that flexibility to change that if needed, and if sort of in consultation with the BIA or whoever the case may be.
Okay, so any minor adjustments can be done Anything, if you've added that, which would be an amendment to this motion, that would come, anything else would have to come back to council, but minor adjustments would be okay. And if we address it in this motion as an amendment, then we can adjust the Saturday to Sunday.
Madam Mayor, can I make a motion to amend?
well,
It's Councillor McDougall.
No, not right now, because Councillor Watton has the floor. Councillor Watton, you still have the floor.
Thank you. I just would like to see, I think in this motion, and to the chair of the BIA's concerns and recommendations, that we do include something that allows the fluidity of change.
Okay. Can we work on that, JP, and get back to us on how that could be worded appropriately?
Yes, Madam Mayor, and based on what I'm hearing from Councillor Watton, and please correct me if I'm not hearing this correctly, but I would just add in maybe a that after the one with regards to Saturday to Monday, and that in consultation with the BIA, I guess, is who we'd want to consult with, that Saturday to Monday could be changed if Saturday to if it's not working or something to that description. But I can write something up and put it on screen, and Councillor Watton can review it if you would like, Madam Mayor.
Okay, and I will.
If I could further, though, it's not only the Saturday to Monday. I was more speaking to all, like, the things that could occur. Could we not just put something that again, I don't want to use concurrence because that got me in trouble in the last motion, but that should problems arise with any of this project, that through consultation with the BIA, staff can make adjustments. Like, rather than have to have a, keep coming back and so on and so forth. Is there just not a way, like, who knows? It's the same with, with the, as I said, the accessibility parking be identified. So we've got them now identified, but it doesn't allow us to change them if they're now identified in this motion. So in a bigger picture, I would like to see us able to have staff be able to make those changes, and if necessary, come back to council for those changes, but not only for one thing, but for the whole project is more my hope.
And Madam Mayor, if I may.
Yes.
Thank you. And through you to council, in that situation, then I would simply suggest adding an additional that at the end to say exactly what Councillor Watton said. Simply that staff have the authority to amend or change this project as they see fit. In collaboration with the BIA, if you'd like to add that too. I guess in order to keep the project moving and ongoing. And as it is Councillor Watton and Councillor Kieserbrink's motion right now, if they want to add that, I can certainly quickly add something and put that in front of you if you like, and for your review.
If I could, Madam Mayor, and I apologize, Councillor Watton. The BIA's ask, their statement is, if problems arise with the plan, that they will be quickly addressed. So if we could just use their statement in the amendment, that would be great.
Okay, could JP, it's a big ask, but could you word that sentiment of Councillor Watton's along with what Councillor Kieserbrink has said, and get that into there? And I would consider that as an amendment by Councillor Watton.
Madam Mayor, if Councillor
Kieserbrink's motion.
Yeah, if Councillor Kieserbrink agrees, I could just simply add it in without an amendment.
Of course.
Yes,
just because it's their motion right now.
Yes, if I could just to have the statement that staff will work towards, oh, sorry, I'll find the spot here to read it again. That if problems arise with this plan, that they will be quickly addressed and that staff have the
That staff have the authority
to do
to
so,
quickly address.
to quickly address.
Okay, you got the gist of that, JP?
Yes, Madam Mayor, just typing it up now. I'll have something in a minute for you. If you want to go into other comments or questions, I'll have it up in just a minute.
If
Okay,
I could, Madam Mayor, if we could just add, including flexibility for takedown time.
Well, I think
Part
that's,
of it.
I think
Or is
that's
that inherent?
included. I think
Okay.
that's inherent. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anything further, Councillor Watton?
Nope, that'd be great if we can get that up, and thank you.
Okay, while we're waiting for that to come up, Councillor McDougall, do you have a question?
I have a motion to amend.
Is it in the same vein as what we've just discussed?
No, slightly different.
Okay, what is your motion?
Can I get the motion up that we're voting on, looking at on the screen, please?
Madam Mayor, just before we do an amendment, can we just have a motion on the floor? Because we don't right now, because I'm just making a slight change as requested by Councillor Kiesebrink and Councillor Watton.
Okay, all right. Well, just hold on for a minute then, please.
Okay, Madam Mayor, you should be seeing it on screen now. What I did is simply added an additional that at the end for Councillor Kiesebrink and Councillor Watton's review. If that doesn't meet your expectations, please let me know, but I tried to keep it broad because I think that's what you were looking for.
Did you want to, was there the thought that we, in conjunction with the BIA?
I'm fine with the way it reads, Madam Mayor, because it might not only be the BIA who sees problems, it could be staff or ourselves.
Okay, I think it could be inherent that we'll be
Yes,
certainly,
yes.
yeah, okay. So
But
is
it's
that
Councillor Kiesebrink's motion still, so she has to
Right.
accept.
Councillor Kiesebrink, do you
Yes,
accept that?
Yes, thank you. I really appreciate this, and I want to concur with Councillor Ross's earlier comments that while we've given great consideration to the BIA's needs, that there has been a significant general public concern for safety and social distancing. So to Councillor Watton's comments as well, I think that JP's modification reflects sort of everyone. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So, okay, so that is settled. Councillor Kiesebrink moves, seconded by Councillor Watton. And Councillor McDougall, what is your amendment?
I'd like to make a motion to amend this motion to say that the barriers should be removed prior to the first business day of the week following the Friday closure.
Okay, that's already in the motion, I believe, that they be removed Monday.
I'm sorry, Madam Mayor, no, prior to the beginning of the business day. So they will be removed on the Sunday or on the holiday Monday. So they will be removed prior to the business day.
Well, if they're removed at 6 o'clock in the morning, they are prior to the start of the business day. So, like, I'm not sure what the difference is.
Madam Mayor, I'm sorry,
no,
maybe I can't read it properly, but does it say 6 o'clock? Because it's cut off, so I can't read it. Does it actually say that in the motion already?
I don't have the motion up.
Because I don't think, to Councillor McDougall's point, I don't think that it specifically states that.
Okay, I'll have to have a look. Yeah, please,
Madam
JP.
Mayor, I apologize for taking the motion down, but I was trying to add an amendment which entails me taking the motion down while I edit it.
Okay.
But I can say that coming up on screen now, it was Director Coleman, and you'll see on screen hopefully now stating that on Mondays it would be 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. The possible takedown of the project and any barriers that have been placed up.
Does it need to be? Does it need to be in the motion, JP, or is this okay to just have it here? It's process questions.
I believe no. This is a direction from Director Coleman to her staff that at 6 a.m. this will be the first thing they do. But I would defer to Director Coleman in that respect. But I believe that's That's my understanding.
Director Coleman.
Yes, Madam Mayor, what the clerk's saying is accurate. This is what we were to direct our staff to do. It could take less time to be done. It might be done before 8 a.m. We won't know until we do it the first week exactly how long it'll take.
Okay, thank you. Councillor McDougall, are you still there?
Hang on, hold on. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, I am. I was actually looking for, I mean, I don't think for the people of the BIA who are not currently in favor of this, I don't think it's a big ask for the $2,000 that it's going to cost us in addition to have the takedown be on the Sunday night rather than on the Monday morning, which is the reasoning for my motion.
So you want it, I'm sorry, I'm getting a lot of background noise here. Do you want, read your amendment, please, Councillor McDougall.
My amendment would read that the barriers be removed prior to the first business day following the Friday closure.
Okay, thank you. Any comments on this? Councillor Ross, is your comment on the amendment or the main motion?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. No, well, hard to say which is what right now. I would second what Mr. McDougall said in that we're looking for $2,000 to appease a number of business owners, and that's what our conversation's been around, based on Councillor Kiesebrink's presentation also, where they were looking for a Sunday removal. Although I respect Director Coleman's thought process around removing on Monday morning. You know, if we're really getting into it, then I can see the positives to removing it Sunday night for residents also. My comment is in regards to the addition to the motion that was just made between Councillor Watton and Councillor Kiesebrink.
Okay, Councillor Ross, we just have to speak to the amendment right now, this amendment, okay? So you can we'll come back when we get back to the main motion.
Pardon me, Madam Mayor, can I speak to the first amendment that was made by Councillor Watton, or is that not an amendment?
No, it's not an amendment, it's the main motion now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so Councillor Watton.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just further to Councillor McDougall's amendment, I would still say with the addition to the original motion, the option to change that to the business day or to the Sunday evening would be in there should it create an issue. We are not aware if they knew it would be, if the BIA would be at 6 a.m., that the cleanup would start at 6 a.m. So I think with the motion as it reads, the original one, that would allow for the flexibility to change to the Sunday evening if necessary. My second thought on that is, and I don't know the answer to this, but how many businesses are open past 6 p.m. on Sunday? So would we be then looking at an 8 p.m. takedown or a 10 p.m. takedown in the downtown? So I think that needs to be considered as well. So I'm just putting that out as food for thought, but yes, thank you, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any other comments. I would
Madam
say,
Mayor, if I could, sorry.
yeah, use the chat line, please. But yes, please go ahead, Councillor Kiesebrink.
I'm just wondering, the motion, I'm now able to read it. It says, as a part of the resolution, it says, as determined by the mayor and Councillor Kiesebrink. I'm just wondering why our names are specifically in this motion.
It's just so that we don't have to have a whole council to make a minor adjustment. And you are the designated representative from council on the BIA because Councillor Brown is declared an interest in this. So
okay, so just one further ask with respect to Councillor Watton's concerns with the holiday Monday, where there could be stores that are open on the holiday Monday. We're saying for that holiday we would remove them the Tuesday morning. Mm-hmm. Is that going to be a factor, or would that fall under the changes that could potentially be made if new information comes forward and concerns about the Monday?
I'm not sure who can answer that question. Mr. CAO, can you?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. I would agree with Councillor Watton. I think that the concerns of whether it's Sunday or Monday takedown or Tuesday takedown are covered by the addition of the last part of the motion that Councillor Watton and Kieserbrink's added. If there's a concern, that provides us with the flexibility to change the takedown times.
Okay, thank you. Councillor McDougall, are you okay with that? Because we can make that change if it's an issue. Are you okay with that, or do you still want to go ahead with your amendment? Councillor McDougall, are you there?
Madam Mayor, it's Councillor Ross. I believe that in the chat line, Councillor McDougall said that he is trying to join by phone right now.
I thought he already had when I spoke to him last, so we'll wait for a moment to see if he can come back on.
Sorry, Madam Mayor, just while I've got a moment here, can I get some clarification? Was there a seconder for the amendment?
Yes, Councillor Ross.
Councillor Ross, okay. And the amendment, I know Councillor McDougall's not on the line right now. I'll have to ask him when he comes back. But is he suggested that it should be the business day prior to reopening, but I guess I'll have to wait for him to come back. But is it that the barriers be removed on Sunday? Was that the motion? I know there was a additional wording in terms of prior to the business day, but was it Sunday?
No, I don't think he said Sunday. I think he just said prior to the business day. I think that was the second time he spoke. I think that was what he said. And Councillor Ross, would you agree?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. Okay.
So just need some clarification on that, because businesses are open on Sunday and on Saturday and every day of the week. So I don't know what prior to the business day, that's going to, I think, cause confusion with what the intent is. So again, I'll have to defer to Councillor McDougall when he's back on the line, but I don't think that makes sense.
If I could, Madam Mayor, if we said...
Yes, can you please use the chat line? Okay, thank you.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Councillor Kiesebrink, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The motion currently says Saturday to Monday morning. I think it's after the Monday morning that it would be prior to the business day start.
Madam Mayor, if I may, yeah, I understand that, Councillor Kiesebrink, but Councillor McDougall is putting an amendment forward to, in essence, remove that section and change it to, I believe, Sunday, but I just need clarification on that before I put the amendment forward. put the amendment up on screen, I should say.
Well, we don't have Councillor McDougall here. If we're going to continue discussing this, I would suggest that if Councillor Ross wants to make the amendment, and we'll need a seconder. Would that be the proper process, Mr. Clerk? Madam
Mayor, there's really no proper process in this situation, I'm afraid.
Yes.
It's a little unique, but I do see that Councillor McDougall is trying to get in online. If he's going to be back in a short order, I think we should wait. If he's unable to get back at all, I do agree that that's probably the appropriate course of action, but I just don't have an answer for that. Do you want to take a 5-minute recess to try and reconnect Councillor McDougall? Maybe that's an option.
Yes, that would be advisable. We'll take a 5-minute recess. It's 10:30 according to my laptop here, and we'll resume at 10:35. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, are you there?
Yes, I am.
So just to let you know, I did call Councillor McDougall, and I've given him the call-in information, so he should be able to call in by the time we restart.
Okay, good. We got 2 minutes, so. Were we successful in getting Councillor McDougall back online?
Madam Mayor, I don't see him in the meeting at the moment.
Okay, so shall we proceed?
Okay, just hold 1 second. Sorry, it looks like a phone is calling in now.
Okay, good.
Just admitting him into the call. Councillor McDougall
is now joining.
Councillor McDougall, can you hear us?
I can hear you, thank you.
Okay, Madam Mayor, we're good to go.
Okay, that's great. Mr. Clerk, could you put up the motion that is on the table right now? The main motion, please.
Yes, Madam Mayor, there's the main motion. So this is with no amendment from Councillor McDougall.
Okay, Councillor McDougall, I don't know whether you were on or off at the time, but it was suggested that the last sentence in the main motion can address what you're getting to, that staff have the authority to amend or change any part of this project if issues or concerns arise. So in other words, at this point in time, the motion says that we would close it Saturday to Monday morning. We could put the time in there, but the last sentence gives us the authority to, if that's not working with the BIA, that they can just change it to Sunday night. The additional cost for that does not meet the threshold that we have to have a special council meeting for that. Are you happy with that? Does that address your concern?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, I think so. If the barriers are not removed early enough in the morning, or it takes too long on the mornings, and that can be moved to the Sunday night, should that need to be addressed, that would be satisfactory.
That's right, and that last sentence, I think, addresses that. Would that be your interpretation, Mr. CAO and Mr. Clerk?
Yes, Madam Mayor, that is exactly it.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, in agreement?
Yes, Madam Mayor, absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Will you withdraw your amendment, Councillor McDougall?
I will withdraw my amendment.
Okay, and Councillor Ross, are you in agreement to withdraw the amendment?
Yes, that's fine if he's withdrawing. Just brings to question the next part.
Okay, so we're going back to the main motion now, and Councillor Ross, I think you're the first on the list. You're the only one on the list right now, so please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. This is just, we're just so I'm
We're
clear,
at the main motion.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. My only concern with the last statement here in regards to the authority to amend is that this has now become a very open motion. And we have a lot of things that are very specific in it, and then they're all undone by that last wording. Is there policy, procedure, other examples of something like this that's been done? Because it would be nice for everybody to have an understanding of what is to be expected going forward. And although I trust staff to do the proper thing, what are the limits on that last sentence?
Mr. CAO, could you answer that?
The limits, maybe I'll start with the limits. We will take into account, firstly, the feedback that we've received at this meeting, and I think I've heard it's the desire of council to be flexible and to adjust to any problems that may arise with the business community with respect to this plan. And this would provide the authority to make those adjustments, including changing the knockdown times from the Monday early to Sunday. And there may be some other matters that need to be addressed that we just haven't contemplated right now. It would provide that flexibility of staff make those changes. From my experience, it's not uncommon to provide flexibility like this in a motion. In response to Councillor Ross's concerns, it does provide staff with the ability to make these changes without consulting with council. If you wanted a little more, I guess a little more of a check and balance here, you could add at the end of this motion in consultation with the mayor, or as the above motion, in consultation with the mayor and Councillor Kiesebrink being the BIA representative. That would provide a little bit of check and balance if that's what you're looking for with respect to staff's complete authority. And other than that, I hope that answers your question, Councillor Ross.
Councillor Ross?
Thank you,
Mr. CEO. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. CEO. I think that's what we're looking for, is a check and balance, but also we want this to work at the end of the day. That's what we're all pushing for here, and it needs to be able to move. So if that, if the addition of in consultation with the mayor is appropriate, then I would appreciate that being added, obviously, as a suggestion at this time.
Okay, can Councillor Kiesebrink and Councillor Wotton, would you accept that as a friendly amendment on the last of that? Would it be in consultation with the mayor and Councillor Kiesebrink? Councillor Kiesebrink?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I've just received an email because I reached out.
Councillor Kiesebrink, maybe you didn't hear me. I just asked if you would like to, if you would be in agreement to have a friendly amendment on the last sentence of the main motion, saying that in consultation with the mayor and Councillor Kiesebrink. Would you be in agreement for a friendly amendment?
I think I need to, I know this is going to disrupt everything, but if I could, Madam Mayor, just briefly, I've received a, I was asking for clarification from the chair of the BIA about the Monday, and she is very adamant that the BIA would only support Sunday takedown, that they cannot support Monday takedown. So I would like to withdraw my motion and make an amendment to have it be based on what Councillor McDougall was saying, which would be the Sunday takedown. But I do realize that it's additional cost, but I think at this time, we're trying to balance a lot of needs, and this is a critical point for the BIA.
Okay, first of all, can we go back to the last sentence? Would you accept that as a friendly amendment? That it would be in consultation with the mayor and Councillor Kiesebrink. Let's get that piece of business done first before we go into another amendment, okay? Would you accept that?
I would like to add as BIA rep, because otherwise it doesn't make sense why I'm separated out from council.
Okay, so we can do that under the first that as the BIA rep as a friendly amendment, and the last that. Are you supporting that as a friendly amendment, Councillor Kiesebrink?
Yes.
Thank you. Councillor Wotton, do you accept that as a friendly amendment?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, now Councillor Ross, you still have the floor. Councillor Kiesebrink, I will get back to you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The only other thing is I'd just like to check our math. In the motion, it says 4 weeks starting on the 25th of July. And then it also states September 7th, but those two numbers don't line up. So if we could either get rid of this, if we could get rid of the 4 weekends or the September 7th for clarity.
It is said in that would be based on an evaluation by the pedestrian project. That evaluation would determine through the evaluation and determined by Mayor and Councillor Kieserbrink to extend it. That's the only thing. It's right now it's 4 weeks, but the option to extend it is there if the evaluation is shows that it's a successful project.
I see. Okay, my apologies. So after 4 weeks, it will be reevaluated at that point, and then it can go up until September 7th.
Right. Okay, thank you. So we're just working on this new, slightly amended main motion here. I don't have any other questions on the chat line. If you'd like to make a question, have a question or a comment, please put it on the chat line. Councillor Wotton.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I will go back to my original question about the Sunday takedown, and they were adamant that the BIA was adamant about the Sunday takedown, but I'm not clear if they knew or know that it's a 6 a.m. takedown on a Monday, and whether, if they knew that, if that would be all right. And the second question to that is, will we be disrupting any businesses for a Sunday takedown?
Councillor Kieserbrink, you maybe could answer that question, or could maybe Robin answer that question? Councillor Kieserbrink, go first.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, they did know, Manager Prentice in her presentation did explain that the preference was Monday morning because it wouldn't involve overtime, and that they would begin early at 6 a.m., that the barriers would be down before the start of the business day. That was part of her presentation. The BIA was adamant that Sunday night was the only thing that would work for them at that time. They didn't further elaborate, but they did state that unequivocally. Manager Prentice did ask again before she departed the meeting, just for my clarification, is it Sunday takedown or Monday? They said only Sunday. That's our only approval. I did reach out to the chair during our discussions now. She's driving, but she pulled over to write unequivocally Sunday is the only approved time that they are comfortable with for the barriers to be removed after business day Sunday. So further to my comments earlier, I don't know what the procedure is, but I would like to either amend this one motion on the floor or withdraw it and make it be the Sunday night. Thank you.
I think it's appropriate to have an amendment, but Councillor Wotton, you have the floor still, and then I'll call on Councillor Kieserbrink for her amendment. Councillor Wotton, anything else?
Well, only part of the question, respecting that they want the Sunday, do they have a time in mind? Because I still don't know what businesses are open on a Sunday afternoon or evening that we could interfere with.
Sorry, my apologies. Their understanding or their expression at the meeting, and Manager Prentice could correct me if I'm wrong, but was just end of business day. I believe all businesses, except for maybe some restaurants, are closed by 5.
That answer your question?
Yes and no. So we would possibly be impacting the restaurants.
Oh.
That's where my concern is. But I mean, I'm happy to try it for the Sunday. My preference would be the Monday morning, but again, my whole goal was collaboration and acceptance by the BIA right from the start. So if we need to change it to Sunday, then our takedown may have to be 8 p.m. on a Sunday. And 8 till 10 or whatever it is. And I guess, again, that can be addressed through our staff and they can figure that out. So to the amendment that Councillor Kiesebrink would like to make. I can support that somewhat reluctantly, but I will support it to get this thing moving.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Kiesebrink, did you want to make your amendment?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, I would please. I do want to reflect what I've been asked by the BAA. I really would like to reflect their ask. Thank you.
Okay, so did you want to word it, or are you going to ask our clerk to word that or change that within the main motion?
I would defer to our clerk, please.
Okay. If we could have the main motion back up, please, Mr. Clerk.
Madam Mayor, I can't while I'm doing an amendment. I
Oh,
apologize.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, yes. We would also have to amend the holiday weekend part.
Madam Mayor, if I could, just while the
Yeah.
clerk's working on that, it seems to me maybe the most simplistic change would be just to swap out the Monday with Sunday by 5 p.m. and the Tuesday again with Monday by 5 p.m. where it's a long weekend. If we just substituted those pieces, then the whole motion, I think, remains intact.
Yes, Mr. CAO, but there are some businesses that are open after 5. So can we just leave out the time? Is that and leave that to the discretion of the BIA and staff in order to accommodate the businesses?
Madam Mayor, if we could, I think the other one had said morning. If we could say
Evening?
Evening would be fine.
Sorry, excuse me, Madam Mayor, it's Councillor McDougall. I can't type in the chat line. I'm on dial.
Okay, go ahead. Well, wait,
this
just a moment, Councillor McDougall. Let's get the wording up first, and then you can comment on the amendment. And if you're driving, can you wind up your window, please?
Okay, will do.
That's better.
Okay, Madam Mayor, I think I have it. Please, if Councillor Kiesebrink and Watton could review it and make sure I've got the intent correct, please.
I don't believe so. It still says Saturday to Monday morning. Should be Saturday to Sunday evening.
Can anyone else see the second
It
that?
says that portions of, yes, I can, Mr. Clerk, and it does say replace with portions of Queen Street between John and Perry and Water as outlined in the concept plan be open for pedestrian use and close to vehicular traffic each weekend from Saturday to Sunday evening.
And what about the statutory holidays? Would be Saturday to Monday evening.
That section is removed as it stands right now.
Yes.
Because it's a Sunday evening takedown, so the statutory holiday Monday wouldn't come into play.
That would be correct.
So if the businesses are open on Monday of a statutory holiday, the pedestrians would not be able to use, it wouldn't be open for pedestrians. Is that correct?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
We learned earlier that that was not, the holiday weekend was not contemplated last night. So that's why it was left in that in the previous main motion that on statutory holidays, it would be Monday, well, Tuesday morning, as the old motion says. Would you, Councillor Kiesebrink, it's your amendment, would you also like to add that, except that on a statutory holiday where the street would be opened until Monday evening?
I'd like to leave it the way it was agreed. There's flexibility in the amendment already for changes as we go. I'd like to start with where all the agreement has been reached, because there's been so much work done by the BAA and the public to get to this point, and then we already have flexibility to further resolve and make changes and or extend it too.
Councillor Watton, as the seconder for the amendment, are you in agreement with that?
Well, not really. So I don't know where that takes us.
So you're removing yourself.
Again, I go back to the final line. I believe if we leave it out, it's neither here nor there in actual fact, because I think it's more important to put it in and have to take it out than to leave it out and try to put it in when it wasn't contemplated.
So do you want to withdraw as the seconder of the motion? Because Councillor Kiesebrink is not, does not want to have that part of the motion, of the amendment.
Actually, Madam Mayor, yes, I will withdraw.
Okay, do I have a seconder for the amendment?
So, Madam Mayor, I really want to achieve success today on behalf of everyone, and if that is a concern for Regional Councillor Watton, then I would make the concession for the one holiday Monday, considering we've all reached agreement for the BIA that we are doing the Sunday closures.
Okay, thank you. So the that second sentence is going in, Mr. Clerk. The statutory holidays, it remains intact until Monday evening.
So, Madam Mayor,
I am working on it, Madam Mayor. I apologize.
Just a moment.
I am working on it.
Yeah, let's wait until we have the motion or the amendment up on the screen.
Okay, Madam Mayor, should be coming up now for you.
Does it say anywhere in the main motion that the streets are open to pedestrian traffic as of Friday night? Because right now it's Saturday. It's Saturday and
Main motion is up for you, Madam Mayor.
okay. Okay. Is everybody clear on the amendment? Okay, to the amendment, any questions or comments?
Madam Mayor, I can't see the amendment, sorry.
Sorry, I'm switching between two, but it should be back up on your screen now, Councillor Kiesebrink. I apologize.
Oh, thank you.
Should that say Saturday morning to Sunday evening? Councillor Kiesebrink?
Yes, please, Madam Mayor.
Does that mean we can close it off Friday night? Oh, we don't want Friday night. No, that's right. We want Saturday. Right. Sorry.
Sorry, only because I can't see it. Was
It's
the
up there
reference?
now.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. But was the reference added after my name about BIA representative?
Madam Mayor.
That was a friendly amendment, so it'll be a Mr.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Madam Mayor, I can confirm it was, but if we could just deal with the amendment, then we can go back to the main motion rather than me switching back and forth continuously. Because every time I switch, it just takes it off the screen for you, that's all.
Okay. Councillor Kiesebrink, is that your amendment?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor.
and seconded by Councillor Watton. Do you still wish to make second that amendment?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, I will.
Okay, thank you. Questions to the amendment or comments?
I believe, Madam Mayor, Director Coleman wanted to make sure it said Saturday morning for clarity.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
And Madam Mayor, that has been included now after it was asked by yourself.
Right. Thank you. It's there. Questions or comments to the amendment, please use the chat line. Seeing none, we're ready for the vote on the amendment. Mr. Clerk, can you open the voting, please?
Voting is open, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
Councillor Ross, are you able to vote? Thank you. And Councillor McDougall, I believe you need to vote verbally. Is that correct?
Correct. In favor.
Thank you. I am closing the vote. Voting in favour for Councillor McDougall. And Madam Mayor, that was carried, keeping in mind that Councillor Guido didn't vote and Councillor Brown being absent and a pecuniary interest did not vote either.
Thank you very much. That motion is passed. Going back to the main motion now, as amended. Questions or comments? Mr. Clerk, you're going to put that up, please.
Yes, Madam Mayor, just give me one second.
While we're waiting for that, are there any questions or comments to the main motion as amended? Please put it on the chat line. Mr. Clerk, are you there?
Yes, Madam Mayor, and just making some changes so it can all be put together.
Okay, sorry about that. I just kind of went dead there for a minute and I wondered if I was still on.
Okay, that should be coming up for you now, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you. And I'm going to read this for anybody who might be listening and doesn't have a visual. It's moved by Councillor Kiesebrink, seconded by Councillor Watton. Whereas, in light of the ongoing COVID-19 situation, Council, in working with the Port Perry BIA, supports efforts to help with physical distancing within downtown Port Perry. Therefore, be it resolved that the verbal update regarding the Queen Street pedestrian project be received, that portions of Queen Street between John Street and Perry Street and Water Street, as outlined on the concept plan, be open for pedestrian use and closed to vehicular traffic each weekend from Saturday morning to Sunday evening, except on a statutory holiday where the street would be opened on Monday evening, starting on July 25th for 4 weekends, and upon evaluation, the pedestrian project be continued until September 7th, as determined by the Mayor and Councillor Kiesebrink as the BIA representative. That the laneway located immediately to the west of the building occupied by Remax Realty and the laneway located to the east of the building occupied by Kelly's on Queen remain open to vehicular traffic. That Perry Street remain open to vehicular traffic. That 5 temporary accessible parking spaces be identified along Perry Street and Water Street to replace the existing accessible parking spaces temporarily unavailable along Queen Street. That staff undertake an online and on-the-ground evaluation survey during the project, and that staff have the authority to amend or change any part of this project if issues or concerns arise in consultation with the Mayor and Councillor Kiesebrink as the BIA representative. I do not see any questions or comments, so I'm looking to have the vote on the motion as amended. Mr. Clerk, will you open the voting, please?
Voting's open, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
And Councillor McDougall.
In favor, JP?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing everyone has voted, I'm closing the vote, Madam Mayor. And again, Councillor Brown and Councillor Guido did not vote, and it is carried.
Thank you very much. And I will certainly vote in favor of that as well. So thank you very much for that very good discussion and appropriate amendments made. I think we've got a great opportunity here to look after the safety and health of our residents and our visitors. And I look forward to seeing this project to fruition. And I certainly want to thank Robin Prentice, all the staff, the emergency control group. Thank you very much for all the work that has gone into this. It's very much appreciated by certainly myself and council, but also I think by the BIA and the residents. So thank you very much. No bylaws. Can I have a motion, please, to endorse the proceedings of today's meeting as confirming bylaw? Could I have a mover, please?
I'll move that, Madam Mayor. Councillor Wharton.
Thank you.
Councillor Ross seconds.
Councillor Ross, thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, will you open the vote?
Voting is open, Madam Mayor. Councillor Guido, are you able to vote?
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Am I to vote on proceedings where we passed a bylaw for something I declare pecuniary interest on?
Yes, and that was an amendment we just actually made to our procedure bylaw that that is permitted. Your pecuniary interest is understood.
Okay.
In favor, JP?
Thank you, Councillor McDougall. I will vote in favour for you. Closing the vote. And again, Councillor Brown didn't vote, not being in attendance, so that's carried, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Motion to adjourn.
Councillor Guido?
Thank you. Seconder?
Councillor Ross.
Councillor McDougall. Oh.
Councillor Ross, thank you. Councillor Kiesebrink has to excuse herself from the meeting, so she will not be voting. JP, can you open the vote, please?
Yeah, voting is open, Madam Mayor.
JP, Councillor McDougall in favor.
Thank you, Councillor McDougall, and Councillor Kiesebrink is now absent, so I'm closing the vote now. That is carried, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, staff. And our Mr. CAO, you are on your holidays. Thank you so much for giving up your holiday time for us this morning. Really, really appreciate it. And thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day.